Okay.
Star Trek stream, Star Trek the original series. We're doing it. We're on the very last original Star Trek show. The old Star Trek shows. Well, there's still the animated series. That's next, but it's still
You should have
TOS.
done. Oh my god.
I've never seen it.
It's painful. And funny.
Is that the one with Captain Pike?
No, it's it's. Well, wait, is he in it? I've never seen it.
No,
I can't
Pike's not in it.
say.
No.
It's the
It's
animated
Kirk, Spock, and
series
McCoy.
where everything stands stock still as voiceover happens, and then very occasionally something will move, is my understanding. Or when people are doing stuff, it's one looped animation.
Hmm.
It should be fun. I've replaced the triangle ship counter. We're not counting triangles because the model doesn't exist in TOS. It was made for TNG.
Okay.
Instead, we have the away team deaths.
Yes, very good.
Red shirts.
I was thinking of calling it red shirt's death, but I didn't want to have to explain it every time a blue shirt dies or a gold. So just anyone who's assigned to an away team if they die. It should be a lot. It's going to be a lot of people.
That's a good
should
one.
be fun. You should also be aware, I said I was going to do a content warning, and I am. You should also be aware that this show is made in the 60s, and it is wildly sexist.
Yes.
It's rough.
Spock repeatedly slaps a woman in this episode, so content warning.
It's a show that was very, very progressive for the 60s, which was 60 years ago. So just keep that in mind. The Ryan's Edits YouTube channel does not officially endorse many of the views expressed within Star Trek the original series.
Oh,
You know,
I don't remember which
fairness-
specific
Go ahead.
episodes are sexist. I know Metamorphosis is and the series finale. But the rest
You
of
know-
them, I don't know.
In fairness, in TNG, we made men wear miniskirts too. So if you're equally sexist, I feel like
once.
But, bright side, we got rid of Rick Berman. Rick Berman does not exist in this show. We do have Gene Roddenberry, who is weird in different ways, but, you know, it's all good.
we get miniskirts.
Anyway. So, Star Trek, the original series, the thing... We're technically watching the pilot episode. The original series has 3 pilot episodes spread across the seasons for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But it also doesn't have a pilot episode, because usually in a pilot it's like, oh, here's all the characters, here's the ship, here's their relationships to each other. The show doesn't do that. We get like 2 lines of exposition saying, this is Spock, this is McCoy, and then the story just goes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a normal story, the same as every other episode.
Because they were making it up on the fly.
Yeah. Oh, so much of the original series is not canon. So much has been retconned.
Even warp factor, it was really time warp. We weren't warping space, we were warping time.
There's no such thing as Starfleet. It is the United Earth Space Fleet. And it's only humans except Spock. Pretty sure that's right. It's been... Most of TOS I've only seen once, and it's been... how many years has it been? Jesus.
No, they have Tellarites in it.
Did they?
Not wearing uniforms.
Because... Did they... Okay, how late did they have Tellarites, though? Because I'm thinking... Because we established Starfleet at some point in the original series, and we sort of
You're right,
retcon the whole
Even
United
the
Earth
K9
Space Fleet
space
stuff.
station, it's more like a private neutral thing, and only humans are in Starfleet, even like that late into the show. Well, not even Starfleet, as you said.
Yeah, we're going to develop the canon over the next 3 seasons. We're going to figure out how this show works. Also, first episode of The Man Trap. Everyone queue up. About 30 seconds to start. 25. Everyone be ready. Like, I know we established the founding members of the Federation, but, like, in what season do we establish that it's Starfleet and there are aliens in it?
Like, even Deep Space Nine kind of implies Vulcans have their own ships. So Starfleet could be composed of, like, different...
Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Like, we know different species still maintain their own fleets. Like, there's still the Vulcan Defense Force in TNG. Lower decks, we see some Vulcan ships. And they still have the rings. The
Ensign
rings are
Ricky.
good.
Oh, thank God.
What, thank God? What are we thanking
Ensign
God for?
Ricky. He's on the helm.
Yes.
He's the red shirt that survives the entire original series.
Oh. We're definitely... Oh, look at that, Rando. Who's that guy on the right? Oh, he's so dead.
Yeah, he'll be dead in 10 minutes. So.
I remember a little bit about this episode. By the way, since you wanted a spoiler warning, look, we're assuming if you're watching this stream or you're participating in it, that you've seen this show before. This should not be your first exposure to a show that we're watching.
I didn't remember this episode at all, by the way.
I
haven't
remember
seen
it's
a
a
lot of the
vampire.
original series, but I don't care about spoilers.
Like this exterior shot, but okay, so obviously, so this reminds me of when in TNG, like first 2 episodes, when they went to go visit Dr. Ira Bear. What was his name?
Stephen Ira Bear?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Ira Stephen Bear.
Yeah, which is different than the
Oh,
writer.
look
right?
at that close up. Oh, he's screwed.
Yeah, there was a Vaseline shot in there too. And the backstory is really weird. It's almost like later Kirk would have had this role, but basically,
Wait. Real quick, while it's still in shot. In the background, what is that, like, statue of an animal with, like, a beak? What is...
it seems like a ram.
It
to
has
me.
giraffe? And what are the things on top of giraffes' heads? Or is that just the Pokemon? What do giraffes look like again?
A crest.
Oh, no Vaseline. Wow.
So, like, this is usually Kirk's
A
thing.
little bit.
Your old flame comes back into the picture.
That's going to happen several times.
Yeah. Oh, and this is the weird part,
Yes.
right? So to McCoy, she looks like young and I dare say hot. And to everyone else, she looks like, a regular middle-aged woman.
So you're saying McCoy has a thing for gills?
What?
I think everyone
Is this a
sees what they
telepathy
want to
thing?
see.
It's not a shape-shifting thing.
Yeah, this actually has a lot of parallels to a episode of the First Doctor, the Keys of Marinus.
Dr. Mbenga?
Oh, yeah, Dr. Mbenga. So, it's going to be hard not to talk about Strange New Worlds, Season 2.
Right.
But, we have to try.
We have to try to avoid.
Spoil Strange New World Season 2.
Not just to turn it into discussion about.
TOS, who cares? Spoil it all you want.
Who hasn't seen it?
Well, there's Season 1 and Season 2, so Season 2 is definitely spoiler-free territory.
I imagine most of us here have seen Strange New Worlds Season 2. We're probably caught up. But,
Yeah.
I don't know who else is going to be watching, like, the live stream or the VOD.
Gotcha.
But he's so dreamy, though, this ensign who's about to die. So before she sucks the salt out of you, she just looks like whatever your dream is. And
no, my dream is for him to just actually use his gun to defend himself.
Do your job, pretty boy.
An intro? Oh, yeah. Also, we're watching the remastered version, just in case that wasn't clear.
What a disappointment.
I don't actually have a copy of the original.
It's
I've
harder
seen
to get
bits of
those
it.
now.
I haven't seen a lot of the original, but the little bit I have, it's pretty rough.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I really liked the paintings of the planets that they did for the view screen in TOS. I think
Like,
my
and the
imagination
exterior shots of planets in the original, at least the one I saw, it was just like a solid orange circle.
Okay. But I'll give you this though: the original Enterprise flying through the intro is so terrible. Like they didn't even have green screen back then, so they were
Wait,
just
what is
basically
what is this dispersed Stonehenge? What am I looking at here?
beautiful television. That's what you're looking at. Like even the set, this gargoyle thing in front, they did a really amazing job of making you think you're on a faraway world.
But like I can see the styrofoam.
You know, another thing to keep in mind, and you know, I've been learning so much about World War One. Lately, I've been binging on history, so it's like it's easy to look at something knowing that you know World War II is going to happen, the Americans going to enter the war, it's going to be one of the bloodiest conflicts in history. But you have to actually keep in mind they didn't know what they were like walking into.
Oh, we're doing a little foreshadowing. They need additional salt. It's very important.
Yeah, salt pills even.
The United Earth Space Fleet ship Enterprise is currently a UPS truck for salt.
So we shouldn't watch this show thinking, okay, well we know TNG, Deep Space Nine, the Dominion War is going to happen. This is more like Isaac Asimov and Nebula Awards and you know the early era of science fiction
Oh, he's
where
required to show it. Thank you, Mr. Data. Captain Kirk's required to show his gold braid. Does he have a gold braid? Is he talking about the sleeve bits? What does he mean?
I missed that.
I think like
He
they have
said,
to
as
certify.
Starship Captain, you're here to like show off your gold braids.
So basically, like they're doing a private operation, and they're also subject to you know these guys who are like the Navy. So he later says like I can take it away your license to mine for salt or exist as an operation if you don't pass the health test.
Oh, a
But
little bit of sexism.
for a woman, huh?
Start us off just a little bit.
To put it in perspective, this is the actual 6th episode that they created, timeline-wise.
What was the
Right.
first?
So I recently learned that TOS is supposedly better if you watch it in production order, which would mean the Korma by
Yeah, we're
Blue
not doing
should
that.
be the first episode.
No.
If we were real nerds, that's what we'd be doing.
Is this whole episode about his wife?
Yes, Nancy,
Oh yeah, because his wife is the monster.
salt sucker.
The
See, that's the creepy part.
the first episode with Kirk is the Where No Man Has Gone Before, the white eyes.
With James Riberius Kirk.
Yes. Where they just screwed up the name.
Hey, McCoy's using a tongue
That's
depressor.
fi-
And Gene just said, forget it, what the hell.
Why didn't Dr. Crusher use a tongue depressor?
Come on,
But yeah,
Nancy.
so-
Okay, well, first off, counter numbers is going up by 1. We have 1 dead away team member. Great.
That's 3 screams.
Not a red shirt, weirdly enough.
We're
They-
not going to count the screams as 3.
They
Oh, he
kill
choked on a Skittle.
they kill a lot of people in all kinds of different shirts. Someone made a chart. In season 1, it's actually pretty distributed between the 3 colors. And then in season 2, it's just like an ocean of red blood. Miss Crater, come on. We know you're the murderer. We know this. Come on.
See, but you gotta love McCoy. Like you'll never think your crush can do any wrong.
Well, I think his crush did wrong.
No. I mean,
She
she's
kind of looks like... God, how do you even describe what the alien form looks like? It looks like something out of the Twilight Zone.
yeah. I think so. I went to the Star Trek, the Experience, I think, or some kind of exhibit, and I saw that costume from the salt sucking thing.
Nancy, you know they're going to do an autopsy, right? Him eating a plant isn't going to, like, explain away the salt stuff. I mean, I guess she's trying her best.
Something very weird. Well, one thing is, you know, when McCoy has a tongue depressor, they are establishing the character as old-fashioned from like early on. And not to be ageist, but DeForest Kelly is a good 10 years older than the other actors. So it suits him. Also, you can tell they're using a lot of stuff from Western sets, like those red sandstones.
They're using whatever sets they have available.
Yeah.
Whatever sets Paramount happens to have is the episode they're making.
Yes, that's why we see gargoyles and like fish.
Ooh, look at that fancy orbit. That's not just a solid orange circle. Uhura, you're from the other show.
Lieutenant Hooker, T.J. Hooker. That's a good line, though, by the way, for Spock. If I hear frequency one more time.
Yeah, Uhura, that's literally your whole job. All you do is frequencies.
Especially back then, since it was all over the airwaves. TOS Bridge is so amazing with
Oh,
all the
Gene,
buttons.
what are you doing, man? Gene, this doesn't have anything to do with the job. But you get it,
Okay.
though, because Uhura's a woman?
And Vulcan clearly has a moon in Star Trek: The Motion Picture. There's like
Don't
the
worry
moon
about
is-
that. The series is barely canon.
Okay, we weren't thinking about the motion picture when they made this. Okay, something really amazing behind Spock.
Does she still have these earrings in Strange New Worlds? I never looked at her ears in Strange New Worlds.
Strange New World copied the lighting of the door behind the bridge behind Spock, basically, and there's like a metal grating which casts an unusual light on the set of the original series. There we go, the metal grating. So it's all kinds of texture on that lighting.
Ah, the good old whistle. We did get the whistle in TNG, like, I think we got it a few times in season 1.
Yeah, in the very first episode when Picard calls the whole crew to like add attention. It's whenever he does a message to all decks. And it's from the real Navy, by the way.
Come on, Jim. It was clearly Assault Vampire.
It can't be your 30 years ago crush, 20 years ago crush.
I find it interesting that McCoy's version of her, he says she doesn't look a day over 25. Like, she still has some gray hair in there.
No, they
you
showed
sure,
the
McCoy?
introductory shot. She has like totally jet black hair. Oh,
The
10
slightly
years?
gray hair is the perspective from Kirk.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
They switched that in the first minute.
And the focusing on Spock and that stuff is to establish the alien devil existence of him, because
The
they're still
green-blooded
trying to
20-eared devil?
establish him. Kind of, yeah. Because I'm sure it's going to play a role in saving the day.
With his Vulcanian intellect, he will solve the problem. Captain, we have exactly one suspect. Are we gonna worry about her? Because there's only 2 people on the planet, and you were in a room with one of them.
It can never be your old crush.
I like how TOS, every time we see Captain Kirk on the bridge, his forehead is dark and his eyes are brightly lit.
Mm-hmm.
Good old 60s lighting.
Yeah, they didn't want. I think you know what it was. Most people weren't even watching it in color back then. They would have been watching it on like a tiny 6-inch black and white screen.
Oh, that's not canon either. He calls it not sickbay, it's the dispensary.
Well, yeah, because I mean they're simulating a submarine in space, and they slowly have to transition that over the episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's a mess hall in Voyager. That's what they have in the Navy officers' mess hall. Something really cool.
There's loads of marks on his body. Jim, what are you talking about?
Later, when the monster tries to take Spock, Spock says, "I grew up on a different ocean than yours. Like I evolved from a different ocean," which is a good point. Like the salinity level of life on each planet is different. We all actually have a little piece of the primordial ocean in us.
Are we going to hold Nancy and the other guy who doesn't matter for questioning? No, Professor, this is a murder investigation. Green, wait, is that his name or his shirt?
Green is his name.
Okay.
But then again, his shirt is also green. I mean, if we're going back to that discussion, gotta help me. It's just with the remaster, they decided to amplify and stick with the gold because I mean that's just what everyone assumed it.
Yeah, man. Is Green gonna die? Because I have a bad feeling about Green.
Well, typically, if an actor has a voice line and a minor role, they're dead.
How much salt could you possibly need?
I mean, she's been feeding off of him for like sustenance, and he's been like, "Okay, you can take my nutrients straight from me."
My God. Wait, this episode is it's about electrolytes because they sweat so
Yeah.
much. They need.
Yeah,
It's what salt vampires crave.
right. Gatorade. Have you tried the new Gatorade? What's it called? Power?
Powerade is very old.
Prime? It's called Prime.
Ah, well identified, Bones. Yes, your expert
What?
medical opinion.
So I
Sure,
looked
you
it
don't want
up.
to wait
There's
for
only,
tricorder on it?
there's only 250 grams of salt in a human body on average. It's not even that much.
Well, apparently, the salt vampire was like struck down by
it's-
God because she's a pillar of salt and needs constant replenishment.
It's a decent amount. That'd be like a 6-inch pile, you know, like a pyramid shaped pile of salt. You know, about 6 inches tall, maybe. I mean, enough
So
to
about as much salt as you would get in a large size order of Five Guys fries.
To put it more in perspective, think of a 10-inch pan, and you could fill up
Jim,
that
gun.
full of salt. So depends on how much
We're up
salt
to
you need.
2 deaths. 3 deaths. Wow, we're just crewmen are dropping like flies.
And they have a mottled face. So the other thing is Nancy, the monster here, when she takes the salt from Kirk later, she puts the fingers on both sides of his face, and it's the same move that Spock does when he does a mind meld with Kim Cattrall as Valeris, and he like invades her mind to find out the truth of who the traitors are.
Sturgeon and green. Okay.
He's already depleted of salt.
Is it just me, or do their shirts actually look green? Because I know they are in reality green, and people just thought they were gold, but they don't look gold to me.
It's right.
They
It's a
look
little
pretty
off,
yellow
but
gold to me.
it is what it is.
I don't see any green in them, but obviously, I know like for television and presidential debates, you have to do a color test, especially on a tie, because you could have a tie with the checkered pattern, and that looks like all wrong on camera. So you have to make sure it doesn't, because they used to interlace the video. Is a method of transmission.
Maybe we could scan? Is that something we can do in TOS? Instead of yelling? What did he just say? Stop thinking with your glands.
I think he's probably thinking of a couple of particular glands.
Ah, the pineal gland. The
Like I said,
thyroid.
in future episodes, it'll be Kirk that has this problem of.
Yeah.
You know, since when does NCC 171 appear on the bottom side of the saucer?
In this episode.
No. Okay, I mean, if you say so.
Did the transporter pick up anything weird about green? Or is everything good?
You know, this reminds me of, I just learned you should not drink distilled water. And the reason for that is if you only drink distilled water, your body likes something called homeostasis. So if you drink distilled water and that water has no nutrients and no salts in it, eventually what'll happen is you'll maintain homeostasis with distilled water, which means you'll slowly deplete your body of all
I
salt and
don't
nutrients.
think that's
It's actually
thing.
well,
I think
it's
you get
actually
salt from other sources.
yeah, it's more of a problem if you drink deionized water.
Okay.
That's yeah. I think that's where that comes from because I actually work in the semiconductor industry and they told us about deionized water. It's not like poison, like you could drink it and you'll be fine, but like it's not good for you because it does leach out all the minerals in your body.
What is...
By the way, like, who has a tray with like a salt shaker on it? Like, you need that much salt when you eat?
My question was more, why does she have a cafeteria tray in the hallway going into the elevator?
She's
Where's
eating
she
celery.
going?
She's walking. I think, you know, the funny thing is in McDonald's way back then, you know, speaking of like miniskirts, so they used to rollerblade up to you in the parking lot and deliver your burgers that way in a miniskirt, very much like that, and a tray.
Okay, I have a question about Yeoman Rand.
Mhm.
What is actually her job? Because I've never actually known. Does she... Is
It
she
looks
just
like
like
here
a
she's a
personal
captain's
assistant?
personal yeoman.
Assist
She
with
del-
personal logs and assist with getting food when needed.
But that was a sexist comment right there. So, sexist warning. We already did a sexist warning, right? Before we started the show in the series. They were checking out.
Oh, I
a
like that
female
sentient
officer.
plant in the background. That's a good sentient plant.
It's amazing.
Oh, a Gene Roddenberry reference. The great bird of the galaxy.
I mean, plants usually have male and female parts if they're pollinating.
Is this Sulu's job? Is he the ship's botanist?
This
Who is
person's
Sulu in this episode?
the acting here is a little too much because like your job is just like you're this mindless thing just looking for a salt shaker.
Oh, this is just the sickbay room converted.
Green, shoot him. You can have all the salt you want. Just pick up the phaser. Oh, the plant... Wait, that plant is... Oh my
It's a
god,
hand.
it's so obvious that's a hand. It's perfect.
Okay,
I was going to
guys,
ask earlier how they were controlling it, because Like, I didn't think it was an animatronic,
It is
but
not
no,
a-
it's just...
No great question.
We didn't have CGI back then.
Space happy? What kind of space disease is that?
They used to have a term in the 60s called space cadet. When you were like
I mean,
high on
I,
something, you were called the space cadet.
I've been getting called a space cadet my entire life. Yeah, that's still a thing.
I never heard of that until I was reading Robert Heinlein. Speaking of
This
great
looks
sci-fi
very
writers in this
familiar.
era,
Wait, who's
we
that
have
guy?
we had Isaac Asimov, Robert Heinlein, Larry Niven. It was a very different time to be into science fiction. We didn't have Star Wars, and Star Wars pioneered a lot of the animatronics. So we will get more ridiculous hand puppets.
I know I've seen this actor before. Who is that guy?
Hmm.
Is he in another episode?
So we have an alto sax.
Oh, he speaks Swahili. Wow.
Yeah, Uhura is from Kenya. Swahili is a mixture of Arabic and East African languages.
Kenya, of course, is famously the location of the Covenant invasion in the 2550s.
Hmm.
There is a big space portal there.
Oh, okay. I finally realized what's going on. That was Nancy, the monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uhura's got so much salt. Just go to the cafeteria, Nancy. Now I'm wondering if Bones actually had a girlfriend or if she was just always a salt vampire. Was Nancy a real person?
Good question.
This reminds me of God, in Lower Decks, what was that alien in season 1 that like wants to lay eggs in Boimler's throat? They pretend to be human to get close to you. They take what they need. What? What are you wearing? Is that a
It's foil.
radiation suit?
Yeah,
We're
foil.
going beekeeping.
Hmm.
Captain Picard would never eat on the bridge.
And by the way,
Very nice cubes, though.
yes, the replicator is giving you like geometric shapes to eat.
Jelly
It's
babies.
space kibble.
I mean, oh look, you have a woman officer there standing, so she can take your food away.
She's Yeoman No Name.
It reminds me of there was a great movie about NASA scientists, Hidden Figures, and one woman, she's a mathematician, but she happens to be black. So when they see her, they expect her to like make coffee, and they don't realize she's actually like a scientist or mathematician. So it was a hard time to be a woman and a scientist back then.
Okay, so this is not Jim's perspective of her. She absolutely does not look 25.
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why they're persisting that look.
It cost a lot of money to make her look young, I guess, and then they couldn't keep it that way. They would have to reshoot.
Subtitles are a little messed up unless she feels 80 safe.
Hmm.
Oh my god, just consume his salt and get on with it, Nancy.
If she was a salt monster, why would she just live alone with one guy on a planet, right? Wouldn't she live in a populated city?
Let's find a salt mine. The end.
Just go to the cafeteria. It's got loads of
It's-
salts.
It's literally one of the most common elements on the planet.
Not an element.
She could
Sorry.
go live on
Minerals.
go live on the coast on Earth. Have a nice little desalination area, plenty of water and salt.
Yeah, why can't she just
Or
drink
she could-
ocean water?
Yeah, she'd be fine. Or we could murder. Murder's good too.
We needed to sci-fi this up.
Finally onto TOS.
Yes.
You know, actually, my dad's business partner, he told me he had like a really bad problem once. He liked like salt on everything. And I said, like, what do you mean, like everything? He goes, yeah. When I got a pizza, I would need like a salt shaker to add salt on top of the pizza. I was like, that's so disgusting. He was like, yeah, but I was completely addicted. If it didn't have salt on it, it didn't have any taste.
Yeah, I took a medication once that made me pee all the time, and so it depleted me of my salts, and it was really weird. Like I had to put like twice the salt on everything, and I went from absolutely despising pickles to like oddly liking them. And then when I stopped taking the meds, I went back to hating pickles.
That makes sense.
Well, some meditation can outright change your taste buds and things with temporarily.
Well,
just
I-
kill him. Do it,
I
Nancy.
guess I didn't realize the same way we can have a sugar.
Come on, we're
addiction.
gonna see McCoy die.
No, we're gonna see the fake duplicate transition shot.
Yeah,
Yes.
that turnaround, that was clearly just there to give McCoy enough time to like move around the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a similar thing in a Star Trek episode where each of the characters have been interviewed or interrogated even, and they're literally just panning the camera around and the characters are behind the camera and having to get in and out of the seat quite quickly.
But what I was saying was, though, I remember when I was a kid, I used to only drink soda, and water would have this foul taste because I'm so used to something
What's he
having
doing?
like spoons and spoons of sugar added. So the same way you could have a salt addiction where you need like extra salt.
So apparently what this dude gets out of the relationship is he just gets a girlfriend and she gets the salts. That's not a joke. That's my understanding of what's actually happening here.
Yeah, it was basically that. He's a very depressed man.
You know, it's like the TNG episode Metamorphosis, basically, though. You have this creature that can morph into what
Wait,
any
I have a
man
question.
wants.
This is important because this is going to define how we handle our counter going forward. Are we counting the deaths of people on the ship going forward? People who weren't on the away team? Or are we just doing...
If you
Away
said away
team
team
members.
deaths, that's away team deaths, right?
Yeah. He wasn't on the
Should
away
it
team. He's
be
just a regular death.
Red shirts?
No, but he did die
Are
on
we-
the planet, though.
No,
No,
that was the guy in the
It's a
radiation
fun
suit they're
thing to
talking
look
about.
at.
Okay.
I think I want to count only people who are on the away team.
Just
Right.
away
The
team
first
deaths.
episode, we get a
Yeah.
yellow shirt or gold shirt death.
And a blue shirt.
Is this
Yes.
the
Yeah,
Salt
that's
Monster
definitely-
episode?
Yes.
People with
yes.
red shirts die.
Because away team deaths are direct deaths under his command.
I don't.
There's some things which, well, there's a lot of things that Strange New Worlds is retcons, of course, which you'll get to as we go through.
There's a lot of things that TOS has retconned about itself.
Very true.
So instead of Red Alert, we have GQ, which is General Quarters.
Yeah.
I still think we should go back to Red Alarm.
No, read it.
Read alert! Read alert!
Just
That was such. It's what was idea was named for that, but it's such a off joke.
Okay, I like that
Um,
guy's gun. That's clearly way more powerful than anything like anyone has, even in TNG or DS9.
The power
didn't
of
watch the
phasers in
cage.
TOS is very interesting. It varies a lot.
in the menagerie,
Oh,
they're
so-
able to like toast a mountain.
Yeah,
That's-
I think that's a
That's a menagerie.
Phaser from the
yeah,
cage.
Phaser. Yep, that's exactly what it is. And in the cage, they call them lasers.
Lasers?
Lasers? They can't even get through our navigation shields.
Don't they know that?
I knew I recognized that one, but I had forgotten it was from the cage.
I still think the Veron T disruptor is the coolest in all the Star Trek series.
Star Trek and
That
Star
prop-
Wars, or just Star Trek?
That prop shows up everywhere,
Star
and
Trek.
it shows
Did I
up.
say Star Wars?
You did. Well, you
Star
said
Trek.
Star Wars Trek.
Oh.
The prop for the Varian T shows up in Voyager. So I'm starting to not believe Fajo in that there was like only 4 of them or whatever.
The Veron T. My main
Of
concern
course.
with the Veron T is you fire with a button on the back instead of a trigger.
McCoy is
inconvenient.
twitching as like Janice Rances. I thought there was something twitchy about him.
There are real guns that do work that way, Ryan, and I'm not sure. I can see the advantage of having the trigger not be the trigger, a trigger, a conventional trigger. But I don't know. Yeah, we have to do some testing.
In Star Trek for it because
But the
nobody really-
phaser's trigger
unless-
is a thumb activated as well.
Yeah, but it would have to an extent made sense for Starfleet to do that because other than at certain times where the weapons are exchanged and used for other things, most races don't know the weapons of others. So making it not an obvious trigger mechanism means they can't use it against you.
I have an alternate solution for how this episode could have gone down with no deaths, and everyone would have been happy. He
Just
could
don't
have
go down
just
to the planet?
called them and been like, "Hey, I have this alien here that needs salt. Can you beam some down?" And it would have been fine.
Yeah. Also, this alien's not very smart, right? Like, if you need to murder people to sustain yourself, you
She
keep
doesn't.
it
She just needs salt.
very discreet. Keep it very.
Can you just give her a saline solution? Just here.
No, just
Have
like
some saline.
one person, like be like American Psycho, just like one person a month, or like a python. Just anyway, I'm not gonna advocate for psychopathy. Sorry, but like it's just prowling the bridge looking for its next target. And it's like you're just a mindless feeding machine.
Ah, she's a buffalo. I get it.
It really is amazing how we're just a combination of like
Is the
potassium and
buffalo
salt.
extinct in TOS canon?
Yeah.
Because they're everywhere now. We got buffalo back. They're good.
We have wolves back too.
But they were
Really?
going extinct at the time of TOS,
Yeah, it
weren't
was-
they?
They were.
There are like
in
10,000
episode.
left. Yeah. Give me a
In the
home.
past tense. Wait, his girlfriend murdered his wife? And he's fine with this?
He explains it. It's because look, you don't miss her anymore because
Or is this one of
You get
like
to have
Picard's
intimacy
a
with her
whale
clone.
consumes million of cuttlefish as it roams the oceans, it's not evil? Is that what he's going for?
It's more like what if you didn't have to grieve and you had this alien that took
This
the form of-
facsimile pretending to be your wife who murders people.
Yeah, who cares if it looks like a salt monster? That's and plus you get to one up your college best friend because you get to have the girl that you used to both like. Yeah, so this guy's really thick. He doesn't get it. Like,
Yeah.
Do we have internal scanners?
I don't think those exist in TOS.
I know
There's
they have
so many
some
different
kind because
times.
they talk a little bit about it in Trials and Tribulations.
True.
Like if you use too much power, it'll detect a power surge or something.
But there are so many times in TOS, especially, where all sorts of weird stuff is going on the ship and they don't detect it at all.
To be fair, that's every show. I'm just joking.
True.
I can't believe they said they left supplies of salt as bait on all levels of the ship. So they're like trying to lure this thing like a rat.
They put salt at the
But
back of
Stranger
the
World
cage with a
has
little bottle
retconned that
holding
a
up
bit
the
as well.
door.
Sorry.
When Nancy crawls in to get the salt, the cage will fall down.
That's another alternate ending to the episode, right? Something True Blood was a show about vampires coming out into the public because they developed this fake blood like beer. And something really good in the books, Suki Stackhouse Stories was the original books on which the TV show was based. Is that so they asked one of the vampires who's public now and agrees to only drink, the non mammal blood beer. Like, how does it feel to only be, to be off the real stuff? And it's like, it's almost like you not eating meat. There's something missing in your diet.
Is
I have a
Okay.
4-pack of that when they released it as an energy drink. It
I have a
tastes
question about TOS in
nasty.
general. Who is there a chief of security? Is that a job?
No. I think because
Because it
the
seems like Sulu's in
tactical,
charge of security right now.
because the front two people are both navigation and helm and sensors and
There is definitely at least retconned in Strange New Worlds the chief of security.
right.
Yes.
But I'm saying in the entire show, there's no person who's chief of security, nor in the original series movies. Like Lieutenant Valerius does the helm and firing.
Yeah. Well, actually, in TOS, the firing is done by the individual department. It's actually commanded from the bridge, but someone
Yeah.
else fires.
Yeah. This guy's really messed up though, because they're like, "Can you identify it?" He was like, Identify what?" Because he knows Bones is sitting right next to him. But there's not Bones.
Honestly,
You know,
I have
it's
no
just-
idea what William Shatner's talking about right now.
Look, if you had AI, right, and that formed a better and happier, longer-lasting relationship than you could with a real person, then
Okay,
could
but
you
if the
blame
AI
someone?
murdered my wife
Can you blame
and took
someone?
her place,
True. Look, it just needed biologically the electrolytes.
truth serum? Wow, that would come
That would
so
be
in
highly
handy.
unethical. Or unethical, rather.
First of all, it doesn't exist. So,
Yes.
but second of all, this was the
Well,
60s.
it doesn't
No, truth
strictly
serum does
exist. Truth
exist
serum
in
itself
Star
doesn't exist, but you can make it so that people's I don't remember the words, but
In
something
Star
about
Trek,
the
truth
total
serum exists.
processor.
We use it in Enterprise and in TNG and here.
It's true. But in
But-
real life, there are
Sodium
drugs which can
amytal.
make you looser in your speech, so that you can actually
I think
you're
it's
more
sodium
likely to tell the
amytal.
truth.
Yeah, and they got to put you in like what's called a twilight state, where you're like half awake, half asleep, so you don't like critically think about the questions that are being asked of you.
That just sounds
Yeah.
like you're feeding them vodka.
Yeah, you can apply someone with anything to put them in a
Kind
system.
of.
Yeah.
It's a more controlled way to get somebody fucked up.
But also, so this is in the 60s, and the idea was by several intelligence agencies.
Wait a second. Spock's blood is red. This episode
No,
isn't
he's green.
canon.
He
That's
has a
not
green
Spock.
bruise
That's the salt vampire.
above the red mark.
That's the vampire. That's not Spock.
So this is the 60s, so the government was trying to develop LSD as a possible truth serum. And again, the idea is to make someone into a different kind of state where they wouldn't be thinking of lying. But they found out very quickly LSD is not a good candidate for a truth serum.
They gave
Yes.
people so much LSD that they erased their memory. Did you know that? the CIA, the MK Ultra
MK Ultra
program. Yeah. They were basically using sex workers to lure men to these special like CIA houses where they had it set up where they could observe, and they would give them huge doses of LSD.
Ryan, did you catch that?
Casey was also being given large doses of LSD when he was working a psychological institute prior to him writing like Ken Kesey, the author of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh.
And
Ryan, did you catch the thing where they made her 20 years younger with
What I
black hair?
caught is that
Briefly?
Kirk is actually training a gun on her correctly.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
He
Also,
should
he's
just
alluring her.
stun her. Why? I don't know why he's talking it up.
McCoy's like totally wrapped around her pinky.
It is really weird that he's treating her like a dog.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Because he doesn't care, you know? Basically, look, you want the perfect lover. She ate all those salt pills, that'll kill you. Oh my god.
Frozen to
She's not human.
I know. That looks
Bones,
so...
help him, Bones, gun.
Oh man.
Gun?
That's what it
All right,
looks like.
Jim. I'm a doctor, not a murderer.
And look, Spock isn't that cold, lifeless thing. Right now, he's like excited. He hasn't perfected the shoot him, Captain.
That's
Smack.
Oh, that's some classic TOS fighting style. 10 out
Yeah.
of 10.
Oh wow. And look, we got books in the 23rd century.
Yes, there's a lot of paper in TOS.
Bones, gun. How did he even fend off Spock? How could Spock not get the gun from an old man? An old human.
You know, I want everyone here to appreciate the fact that they at least made an attempt in Enterprise to make it look like the technology in Enterprise could become the technology in TOS.
I love the grapplers.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's the same scream Valeris does when Spock minds both of them in Star Trek 6.
I like how as soon as the CGI effect starts, CGI is being a generous term, the frame the frame completely freezes, so they don't have to like motion track it.
Yeah.
Yes, shoot
Or
her
that
again.
figuring out those techniques would come later with Star Wars.
Bones, do it.
We were so religious.
Leonard, yes.
But you know,
You are
Bones
fulfilling your destiny, Bones.
is this old country doctor.
Do it.
Did they have to make the thing so ugly?
Yes.
Yes.
Now there are no
What
more of its
happened-
kind. Problem solved. We did it.
What happened to Bones between Undiscovered Country and Encounter at Farpoint?
He
Because he got
old.
really southern. He got really southern.
Well, he got
just went
old,
to
and
the
old people
accent training
are
course.
crotchety and
Parochial.
racist.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
And he's like, I don't see any points on your ears, boy. Encounter at Farpoint.
Yeah.
Well, Bones was always racist against Vulcans, so that's in character.
No, but the exaggerated Southerner accent is new for sure. But he's from Kentucky, right?
No idea.
Leonard McCoy. He likes the bourbon.
I think he was
All I
out
know
of the
is he's an
service for a
Earther.
fair period. In fact, by that point, he definitely was. He's retired, so he could have just been in somewhere else and chatting.
Hey, look, we're getting a zoom out shot.
I'm not sure why we needed the reverse shot of the planet, just like in case it was coming back
It's
for
'cause
us. What's
We're leaving it in the dust.
Yeah.
So, what is everybody watching? Are you watching the original cut? Or are you watching the
So-
updated
This is the remaster.
special effects?
The CGI one.
Oh.
But you know, as the episode was ending, they play what becomes later the theme for TNG and motion picture. You know, it becomes incorporated.
what I
So
do
it's-
know is the next episode is Charlie X, and everyone should queue up so we can press play in a minute. 1 minute to Charlie
Charlie
X.
X.
Is Charlie X the one where they talk about ESP at the start?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
What's your
Alright.
ESP index?
it
Your
is.
Esper rating. Yep.
There's also that later one which has it as well.
Well, enjoy the episode. I'm gonna go and sort dinner out.
Enjoy dinner.
All right, nice sharing the
Try
stream.
not to murder anyone for it.
Hilarious.
Don't add too much
You
salt.
get it? Because the episode, the Star Trek and the vampires.
Don't get too salty.
Okay.
Later.
So yeah.
Live long and prosper.
The ESP stuff. I'm gonna headcanon that as it never happened. And we're gonna press play in 5,
You're well in
4,
line with Gene.
3, 2, 1, play.
When he was making TNG, he literally wanted TOS to never have happened.
Boy, they
That's
sure
not an
referenced it a
Antares
lot,
class
though.
ship. The Antares class ship is the triangle ship.
Oh, look, that's your screen.
He's in his dress uniform.
Yeah.
Oh, not quite.
Terrace is the name of the company that makes Autotune.
Oh, ESP stuff is in the next episode? Okay.
And Terrace is also the
Oh,
class
right.
of-
Charlie X isn't an ESP thing. He's like a Q thing.
Trillane.
They had a Trelane thing going on.
Yeah, they still have a Trillane thing going on.
But there was
Is
also the
Trelane a
episode.
Q?
There's also the episode where the guy, where that Starfleet like commander or whatever gets superpowers, and he has like silver eyes. What is that episode?
Wait, what? Which episode? Say again?
The one where that Starfleet officer has the silver eyes and he gets the powers, and then that woman gets powers too.
That's where No
I
Man
guess
has
if you
gone
spend
before.
enough
That's the
time-
next episode.
You spend enough time on the planet. Oh, so why so many of the Charlie X is just a ripoff of that Twilight Zone episode? You know that the Twilight Zone episode with a kid that can like transform you into a Jack in the Box?
I don't, but I believe you that it exists. Also, I would
Sure
like to
you would.
mention their badges. They're not the Delta. That's not because they're from a different ship. The Deltas, the insignia, is like a classification. It's not that every ship has its own thing. It's like there's a starbase badge and a starship badge and a civilian ship badge.
Nothing. Get out of here, please.
Yep, let's just get out of here. Let us leave. We don't want to be with this kid anymore.
Very well. Goodbye. He's your problem now.
No givesy backsies.
We're going to hightail it out of here. We're intermediate for the next week.
And that was a really long transporter cycle in the background.
Transporters were slower in the past. You get to feel every molecule disassembled.
I mean,
Are
you
you a
know,
girl? Hmm.
this is going to be a Gene episode, isn't it?
Or more accurately, a woman. Thank you very much.
I do remember in this episode, Kirk gives an actually really good speech about consent, so that's fun.
Mm.
Or maybe I just remember it being. It might not actually be good. It's been
I
like
haven't bought this version
7
of
years.
it. But I
It might have
just
been
bought
good
the
for like
visual version of the
1968. Did you give a disclaimer? This is a
I did
product
give a
of its
disclaimer
era.
that TOS is wildly sexist. Yes,
Yes.
it's not great. TOS.
I mean, it was great for its time, but
It was.
compared to today, it is a bit behind.
Very progressive for the 60s.
That's what I said. Everyone judges stuff out of the lens of today, and it's like, can't.
Or you can judge
This is-
people by the standards of today, but you can't judge the things that are created necessarily.
Speaking of things being different in the past versus today, is it just me that when I look at William Shatner, TOS show William Shatner and like movie Shatner to adult Shatner, it's like two completely different people. I cannot reconcile them as being the same person.
It's like me with Khan in the movie compared to the show. He looks completely different, even though it's the same actor.
No, but like
Khan?
everyone else who aged the same amount, like even Will Wheaton as like little baby Will Wheaton, now adult Will Wheaton's like, oh yeah, that's the same guy, just older. Whereas William Shatner, show William Shatner versus movie William Shatner, my brain does not
It does
accept
look
them as the same person.
Pretty different. It's like his face is pretty much the same, but everything else changed around it, like the outer face.
Even the face, just
much
nothing.
different.
I don't think that Will Wheaton how do I put this? Will Wheaton
looks
didn't
different.
change at all. He just
Yeah.
grew a beard.
Well, Patrick Stewart looked 40 years old from about ages like 30 to 80. Well,
Oh, the
Because we
episode
only
where
ever
Kirk's
knew him bald.
personality is split. The episode where Kirk's personality is split and he attacks Rand, that's really, really bad. Because Yeoman Rand talks about, like, oh, I would never have reported you, sir. You're my superior officer. It's like, no, Yeoman.
That's exactly your job. Yeah.
It hurts.
I think
It does the
Norman
thing
Rand
of we
had
have a
a
dark
crush
side in
on him.
us. Yeah.
And she was more like, oh, I'd never report you because I'm secretly in love with you. But
Everyone's
definitely
secretly
not
in
what
love
she
with
said.
Kirk. Well, the episode does do the thing of everyone's got a bad side to you, but it does it in a weird way.
I have no memory of this diagonal Jeffries tube. I remember a lot of ladders. I don't remember this.
But they use this
Diagonal
Jeffrey's
Jeffries
tube a lot in Strange New Worlds.
Was that a girl? I just walked by?
Where'd you get this person?
I think it's supposed to be perfume because she's a woman.
Yes.
how'd you know? The replicator?
No, they don't have replicators.
They,
They
have,
have, like,
matter synthesizers.
Weird basic versions that like only make food, I think.
I think they only make like food tablets.
The kibble, yes. But
The
no,
kibble.
Captain Kirk gets a chicken sandwich and coffee, right?
Yes, he orders a chicken sandwich in The Trouble with Tribbles.
looks like Marilyn Rice Cub.
Charlie, just in general, just don't touch people unless they want you to. How about that? What are they talking? Is this related to the episode, or is that just like background chatter? Thasians? Oh, I forgot that Captain. So he, of course, he has this giant clunky pad, but he
Yeah.
also writes on it with a pen. How does that work?
It's
that like-
always
A drawing tablet?
probably, but it's always more efficient or easier to
What do you
draw with
mean,
a pen than
how
a
it works?
hand.
We have styluses now, Ryan.
Yeah, I know, but what is it, like an e-ink thing? Is it like one of those magnetic sand things? Then you shake it up and it goes away.
No, I'm
it's an
assuming it's an
Etch-a-Sketch.
actual display. I think talking about Wary Tom's film or something.
Wow, that's very green. I vote.
Interesting.
Wow, he has a lyre. I wonder how
Yes.
that came to be. How did that get established?
It's interesting though, because Matoy's and the Doctor's uniforms are much are a shiny blue as opposed to the fabric blue of the others.
Oh, Uhura is singing. That's a season 1 thing. We can talk about that. Yes, we established this as... Well, re-established it as canon.
Yes, she's a
Big on
decent singer.
tones. Okay, this one I don't remember. Uhura, that's clearly racist against Vulcans.
Yes.
Gene, are you just killing time? Did you only have like half an episode written?
I mean, it is a very thin on the ground plot. It's basically, how can this kid cause problems?
Yeah, I cannot see Strange New Worlds Uhura doing this.
She'll get there.
In about,
It's
when
about
what's
6
it,
years.
6 years, yeah?
It's stated that there is 7 years at one point in season 1.
Oh, Vulcan having no moon. We established that last episode. Even though
Although
it clearly
actually-
has a moon. But whatever.
I think it's 7.5 years, it's stated.
You think Charlie was trying to get her to play Magic the Gathering?
That would sync up with the lack of social understanding.
Wanting to play Magic with a girl would put him above a lot of Magic players. So
She's improvising the lyrics, which is quite good.
Charlie, you monster. Alright. Uhura, do you want to, like, do something about this? Sick bay? Gun?
well, what would she use gun on though?
Him.
I mean, she doesn't know it's him though.
Yeah, but she could still do it anyway.
Okay, fair enough. Just on instinct.
That's not a card trick, Charlie. That's magic.
Oh, being a stalker?
But that is what magic tricks are in real life.
They're literally magic in real life?
No, but they're called magic.
But magic isn't real.
Yes.
We'll now turn this into a Black Lotus. Did you hide mana in my boobs? Damn it, Charlie.
He wanted to tap it.
That comment only gets to slide because it's Magic the Gathering related.
It is. That's the point.
But it's real sketchy. Yeah, of course you didn't like it, Charlie. Where did you even learn to hit people like that? Where is that something they
Guys
did
do it
on
in
the
the locker room.
Antares? They went and slapped each other on the butts as they walked by?
It's just a friendly gesture that they do to each other. Definitely nothing more going on there.
No, Kirk, you can't hit men either. Captain, no.
Yeah.
You were so close, Captain.
Oh man.
Charlie, if you're gonna hit a woman, you need to make sure to use the gun instead. Everybody
Well,
gets the gun.
nobody tell the tale after that with a phaser.
Okay. Yeah, sure, fine, whatever. You can be on the bridge.
Yeah, Star Trek is very, very lax about who gets on the bridge.
Except that one time in TNG with Wesley.
That's just because Picard hates kids at that time.
He even hates kids so much he swears when talking about them. Did Charlie just murder them?
I think that might be implied.
Oh, yep. And debris, 100%. So, yeah, maybe there's a little more going on than lack of social norms.
Yeah. So about that week we were going to be incommunicado. I'm sorry, it seems that we're permanently incommunicado now.
But they don't count toward the counter because they're not on an away team. We could do a separate
I
counter
mean, you have
for
a
like
specific red
There's
shirt
an
death?
episode where 600 or so souls are killed.
we could do a separate counter for like lost ships or specifically destroyed Constitution classes.
There's a lot of destroyed Constitution classes.
Oh yeah, because was the Antares in
I'm
the original
thinking-
cut a Constitution class? Because my understanding was they only had like 2 ship models and one of them was Constitution class. Or maybe they only had 1 ship model.
That's why I don't like these remasters.
Because they put some variety in the fleet instead of everything being the same
I
ship.
want to see. I want to see it as it was originally made. Like if you're just going back and you're like removing, like damage to the film, or I'm saying, like restoring it, but not changing what it was fundamentally, I'm okay with that. But when you're like, I'm gonna redo all the special effects, update them for,
They're not really updated. They're made to look okay in HD, but they still look really dated.
Yeah.
Which I think is a pretty good line.
They still maintain the thing where everything's dangling at a weird angle because they were on wires originally.
Does anyone here play this game? Like, I bought one.
Jess,
my house,
yes,
I
I
can't-
played
It's at
Jess.
home and I have played it a few times.
I can't figure it out. Go is my
It
game. I
is-
don't get this.
It is a more complicated thing.
I mean, it's better than that like basic children's game that's 2D chess.
They also have 3D checkers. Look at that.
Yeah.
You can upgrade.
There's
from
5D
3D checkers to
chess
3D
too.
chess.
You can play. That's like with time travel.
Yes, it's on
Yes.
Steam.
Why didn't they reset
It's
the pieces? I'm
nuts.
sorry.
Because it still looked like someone was playing it.
Oh, Spock. Someone's about to get murdered. Does his mind
Perhaps a
powers
game
not
of
work on
Caltech.
Spock because he has Vulcan brain? Sorry, Vulcanian brain? Okay, that looks like it's supposed to be intimidating, but it's not.
She just took a blowtorch to them.
Speaking of destroyed Constitution classes, the destroyed Constitution class model, they literally just took a blowtorch to couple them the cells. In the original cut, it's just burnt plastic, and it's very obvious. I wasn't listening to what he said, but I'm just going to assume it was awful and sexist. What are you talking about, Charlie?
He's infatuated with Yeoman Rand.
Well, Yeoman
First
Rand needs to get
person.
infatuated with a gun, because she needs to defend herself.
You and your
Yeah.
guns.
Well, look at this kid.
I mean, I don't disagree with you on this occasion.
Can we at least get some pepper spray?
I mean, that might just piss him off.
You don't even know her, Charlie. Have like one conversation with this woman.
You suppose Charlie is one of the kids that the Traveler abducted?
He maybe. Definite maybe. Yes, report him to HR. That is also acceptable. If you don't have a gun to hand. Oh, classic lighting. Only the eyes.
Yep.
I feel like I don't really know anything about Yeoman Rand. Does she get characterization later on? Does she like show up a lot?
She shows up a lot, but there isn't a hell of a lot of characterization to my recollection. I think there is
The
an
only
episode where we
thing-
explore her a bit, but
Did they ever talk about if she's wearing a wig or she legit just does her hair every morning with that weave? Because that's impressive.
they might have
Well, you
some
see, you can
fancy
use the
tech to
transporter
it.
to move your hairs into the exact right
Ah.
positions.
Nice. Does that cost credits?
Currency in Star
You know,
Trek?
it costs your life.
No,
When
don't
you
they
go into the
mention in
transporter and you
DS9?
come out of the transporter,
No,
you
you
die.
only beam the hair. You don't have to beam the
They
rest
mentioned
of the body.
in Cisco mentions in DS9 how he used to beam home every night and he used all his credits up. So I guess they do give some sort of transporter ration in Starfleet.
Really, though? You slap them?
You slap yourself.
With consent. You know, Ryan, Some people like
Oh,
that.
this is the consent speech.
But there's people out there who don't know that they like it.
Silence.
Charlie, have you tried just talking to her like she's a person?
No. This is Kirk we're talking about.
He could go hang out with that nice plant Sulu's taking care of. I like how it keeps cutting between different perspectives and everyone's in a different position, like looking in different places between each cut.
You know, he had an opportunity to get to know that nice young lady in the blue uniform. What was her name?
Annie Blewett.
Yeah, I mean,
Tina.
Her name was not
Tina.
Rand.
Not Rand. Oh man, Mr.
Well, you see,
Spock.
Tina, she's not. She isn't. She doesn't. Not like Rand. Oh my. Wait. It's
here we are.
Okay. One, what? And two, I feel like that was the introduction of Ambo Jitsu, the ultimate evolution of the martial arts. Except like proto Ambo Jitsu, because they weren't blind.
I am surprised with the powers that this kid has that he doesn't really use them very effectively, right? Like,
Yeah, he
if
doesn't
I
know
had
what he's
those
doing.
powers, yeah, I mean,
It is interesting that the Delta is on the top of the leggings. Or the
Well, everything in Starfleet is Starfleet branded.
whatever they are.
Those pants might be a little too tight on Bill.
was this pre or post girdle, Bill? I think he had the girdle way early on.
Well, I can confirm that he's not wearing a girdle right now.
I like that they're just teaching stunt roles and things.
Yes, beat the child. Charlie, you missed. How did you miss?
It looks like Peter Pan. His head always had this weird shape to it.
Bill or Charlie?
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie looks
It's like-
a little triangular.
Wider at the top, you know? Got flares out.
Not on a weight team, he doesn't count. He's totally dead, though. Well, he's not so much dead as doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Kirk, do you want to do something about this? Or no?
Well, he just saw what he did to that guy. I mean, what would you do?
Gun. Snap his neck. Come on, Bill, do something. I guess
Take
you
some
have to try
responsibility
to...
for your actions.
That line that he said, I didn't mean to do it. He made me do it. It makes me think of the guy from It's a Wonderful Life. It reminds me of what's his name? What's the actor from It's a Wonderful Life? Someone look it up.
Brent Spiner.
No.
Gates McFadden.
I didn't mean it. He made me do it. Clarence.
Oh, he was much more restrained that time. He didn't murder them. That's progress.
The Vitard maneuver.
I said, go to your room.
So what we've learned is we need to kill him from behind. Don't give him a chance to respond.
That's actually a thing which happens in Stargate with someone with similar abilities, where he can stop anything that he notices, but if he doesn't notice it, then he doesn't actually stop it, and he was very distracted at the time, so they managed to kill him.
Did they do a fan dance?
Yeah, they do a fan dance.
They just trick him. Nothing so elaborate, unfortunately.
No.
Samantha Carter did a fan dance.
I cannot believe that's actually in a movie. Naked Uhura fan dance. How did that happen?
And how old is she at that point? Like 60 something? She's getting up there.
Well, time to stop at the starbase and get some more phasers. That would definitely be useful.
What if we just beam him into space? What if we just beam his brain out of his body? Or part of it?
Does anyone else think that looks like a pack of post-it notes?
What do you mean the development of his fingers and toes exactly matches the development of humans? He's sitting next to Spock here, who is exactly that as well.
Shut up.
Spock is half human.
Okay, just tell me.
Somebody's microphone is leaking.
What were you listening to? What was that? Who was that lady, Jarrings?
I think it was like a bit of Lower Decks or something that was playing on YouTube accidentally.
Accidentally on purpose? Got it. Okay.
"17-year-old is not a man yet, especially by American standards."
I mean,
Yeah, he is. He's a man.
Kinda, yeah.
You're an
Physically,
adult,
yeah.
sure, but yeah, physically it might give you.
Just make him not a man anymore. Just make him not Gun. That's all I want.
Charlie, meet Gunn. Gunn, meet Charlie. Hello, Charlie.
Oh, they put a little Vaseline for William Shatner. Wow. It's usually only ever for the women. Or is this just one that they couldn't find the original footage for to rescan?
They definitely put smoothing cream on people's faces.
They weren't nice to him. Well, yeah, dude, you've been murdering people.
Just a few. Wait, how many people were on the Antares? It doesn't matter. They're not Starfleet. Who cares?
Are they?
How do
No,
you?
I think they were civilian.
How do
They're still wearing
you?
Starfleet uniforms.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Or Spock could mind meld with Charlie and share his knowledge of social customs.
The hell was that?
What that was the first ever instance in Star Trek of a console exploding.
Time-honored tradition. You know, that was so bad.
I wonder what could possibly be causing this.
That was so bad. I remember when I was a kid, I stepped on an electrical outlet and I just gotten out of the shower. so my foot was definitely still wet.
How do you step on an
doesn't make
electrical outlet?
sense.
I'm sorry. So there was an extension cord that connected to another extension cord, and I stepped on that.
In your bathroom while you're taking a shower?
No. It was in my through my living room into my garage, and I'd stepped on that after I stepped out.
Wait. So you got out of the shower, you walked through your living room and into your garage, sopping wet, and stepped on an electrical cord or extension cord.
Yeah. And I was like,
Sounds
10.
legit. This sounds like a real story.
So it was that bad of a shock. You're just like, whoa, I'm never gonna forget that, and I'm lucky to be alive.
Oh no, it wouldn't have killed you.
Wow.
It's a lot of
okay.
current.
Charlie was a little racist there. Why is everyone in TOS so racist against Vulcans? I guess that's canon from Enterprise.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, Enterprise gives the reason for this.
Seriously, every Star Trek show has one species that everybody on the cast is racist against.
Ferengi.
Cardassians.
Romulans, Klingons.
I mean, they're not without just cause.
What's
That was a
Charlie's
good
story
offense.
here?
Leonard.
Iguana.
That's so readily available in Southern California.
What is?
Iguanas.
Is he gonna give her the iguana? No, okay. I thought he
we
was
got the
gonna give her
Vaseline
Tina.
effect going, or the double whatever effect.
Yeah, Pink is her favorite because she's a woman, remember?
Yeah.
God, Jean. Even her quarters are bright pink.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you gonna see Barbie movie, Ryan?
Probably not.
Okay.
What, you're not going to do the Barbenheimer experience?
Mm.
I also
was
do
fun.
not currently have plans to watch Oppenheimer.
He was a
I
genius.
watch Oppenheimer when it comes out on streaming.
I quite enjoyed seeing them both in the theater, one after the other. It was a good time.
That's what I
Is
want
that
to
That's a
do.
fun idea.
That sounds fun.
That sounds like the thing to do.
Yeah. Oppenheimer first, so that you get the most. It's the most tonally jarring thing when you go right into the ultra happy Barbie opening.
So let me ask you: could you hear the atomic explosion when you were watching Barbie?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pop culture exploding in on itself.
Okay, so now that Rand has been murdered, now I know for sure that the Q beans at the end are going to resurrect everybody. No actual deaths. Everyone's fine.
Yeah.
Do you see before there was a crack in the set where they bumped into it?
Oof. Reminds me of that time in DS9 when Worf and Garrick are fighting, and they knock over some panel and reveal a writer's room.
Oh yeah, his ESP is off the charts, huh?
I definitely know when the two of them get supernatural powers to talk about the ESP, and it's because their ESP was high they get the supernatural powers.
I would really like it if Star Trek never introduced all the magic power species. Just hard sci-fi version of Star Trek. Get rid of Q, get rid of the Betazoids, get rid of parts of the Vulcans.
Q is great.
Yeah,
Q is
Betazoids
awesome.
are great.
We can bring John Delancey back. Just bring him back as someone else.
Can we keep the Deltons?
Were they even magic? I just remember the Oath of Celibacy. That's all I know about them.
They weren't magic. They were just very, very.
So Vulcans are telepathic. You'd have to wish them away too.
We can trim out the magic part of Vulcans. Because the Vulcans still have some identity outside of their telepathy, Whereas
True.
Betazoids, that's the only differentiating characteristic.
Yeah.
Betazoids we can get
And
rid
what
of
about-
entirely. We don't need them.
The Eno
What
are
about their
telepathic
lack of irises? They just have black pupils.
Do you believe in intuition, Ryan?
That question could mean so many different things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like some sort of magic sixth sense? No.
Yeah. Okay, that's it. You don't think some people would have it more than others?
There's supernatural stuff isn't real. Supernatural stuff isn't real.
Yeah, but intuition is a thing.
An
Supernatural
ability to
stuff
take
isn't
in
real.
under information from your surroundings and
Using-
make judgment calls based on that? Yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess that's
And
what I mean.
anticipating certain things because of past experiences. Yeah.
It's what we do. It's what the brain does.
Clairvoyance, no. Precognizance, no.
Is
What if
there
you're- what
what's a
if-
good sci-fi show with no magic? Does The Expanse have any magic?
No.
It does have magic in it, sadly.
It's like I remember
later. That's
I like
only
that
later
about
episodes.
Battlestar
It
Galactica,
starts
and
off-
then in later seasons they went full magic, and it was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in Expanse, it's not magic so much as alien tech, but in the beginning, there's no alien tech or
It's
magic.
magic.
Alien tech isn't.
Charlie wasn't even provoked that time. What the heck, dude?
Oh my god.
That's
There's
just
cool
rude.
people in Star Trek. So this guy's basically an incel, just mad at society.
He's a teenager.
She's doing the James Dean thing.
Faceless beings.
Oh, that's like
So
the
she's
creature
dead, right?
from
'Cause she
Sapphire
can't
and
breathe.
Steel.
Yeah. I love the special effects though.
Yeah, we really should have gone with the gun plan. You're pretty close to him. Can you walk behind him and snap his neck? Do something?
Save your ship.
Come on, just a little murder. One
Go back
murder.
there, snap his neck.
They weren't terribly worried about the salt vampire, so
Did they have atmospheric controls at this time?
At this
Don't-
point, he's still almost 10%
I don't-
Picard, I guess.
Oh, Dark Matter doesn't have any magic in it. Now that I think about it.
Do they wait?
That was a good
Those
show.
people didn't look like they knew what was going on. I feel like we should have made an announcement. Like, generally, I like the idea of venting people into space. I'm not sure it would work here because he could destroy the ship before he died.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If they could just like pump in some sort of like anesthetine gas and like make him fall asleep before he even realizes it.
But it needs to be really fast. We have to murder him before he has time to cross his eyes.
Cross his eyes.
That's what he does, apparently. That's how he works his magic.
yeah.
Now he's rolling his eyes. He's just really cynical.
It sounds like you just want to be alone.
I'm the captain now. I'm the big man.
Look at me.
Wow, they're really going heavy on this dramatic lighting. I didn't realize how often they do the eye lighting thing. I thought it was only when Captain Kirk's sitting in his chair, but no, it's literally any room in any character.
Yeah, it happens a lot.
Well, only men. It doesn't happen to women. So not any character. Well, a little bit.
You see, like all the Nagilum, like And the Q rolled up into 1. Do we get a warning for William Shatner's acting?
Get a warning for the color of that carpet. Jesus. It's got big gaps in it. It's
I've never seen the carpet before. By the way, in HD, you can see that they're all sweating because like studio lights are super hot.
is everyone else back? Or just the one who has a
There's
name?
Cleanons off the starboard bow.
Ah, yes, the deflectors.
And he's been found at the overtest.
This reminds me, I was told that the personality of like little dogs, they act like really tough and ferocious when they're with their owner. But if you ever left like one of those little dogs by itself, it's just like a very fearful, scared little thing. That's what this guy is.
But do we really have to have the high-pitched whine going on?
It's ultrasonic.
No, it's very, very sonic, actually.
We're so disappointed in you, son.
Ragers, I've assembled you here.
I wonder if he had the wibbly effect on his head in the original, or if it was just like a picture of the dude tinting green. How CG was it before?
Ah, it's the reset button. Yay.
Yeah, you're out of excuses now, kid.
Are you though?
So I just want to emphasize, I grew up on TNG, and I remember talking to my neighbor's dad, and he was telling me why he loves TOS, and it's so true. You may not have the special effects, but this story is actually pretty neat, and they could sure tell a story in 45 minutes.
No, Kirk, he murdered hundreds of people.
Thomas Jefferson said, "Absolute power corrupts absolutely." So
Indeed.
I think it's too much power.
Well, I don't know. The
Mm.
Q don't seem to be too.
I mean,
bad.
if they gave him the power, can then it take the power away?
Unclear.
We gave him the power so he could live.
What we do know is they're going to take care of him.
Yeah, look, you already evaporated her. Yeah,
So
he's not fit.
he just doesn't like being incorporeal, I guess.
Yeah. It's kind of great though. It's like, yeah,
They pretty much only do fade out effects in TOS.
Hey, that was state
Everybody
of the
holds
art
still.
at the time.
I did notice that the shadow faded at the same time, so I guess they cross-faded a blank shot with the main shot.
Do you think someone's really sad that their pet lizard just turned back into a lady?
Poor iguana. Poor Leonard.
Aw, poor Janice. Hey,
Do you think
that
the
was a great
people who are upset about Michael Burnham crying are upset about Yeoman Rand crying too?
Oh my god, look at the weave she has on her head, though. Really?
Yeah, that's what transporter's for.
The amount of time that she must spend in getting her hair done as the actor, unless it is a wig in real life.
DC Fontana wrote this story, which is Dorothy Fontana. She just couldn't do a woman's name at the time.
All right, the next episode and the last one for today is Where No Man Has Gone Before, which is about the same thing. It's the same episode.
Yeah. And there's a TNG episode about it too. So
Is this the one where it's the ESP people?
Yeah, yes, it is.
and we also have the
And we
naked
also get
now.
we also
and
have the
Naked
wrong
Time.
name for Kirk in this episode, don't we?
Just
Cutting
why
edge
did they
sci-fi
do
here.
2 person gets corrupted by magic powers episodes in a row? Maybe
This is
space
cutting
them
edge
out a little
sci-fi.
bit.
The starting episodes of TOS are weird in which ones they end up with. I don't actually think they
Right,
release
the
them in
production
order,
order is
though.
totally different, and the show's better if you watch it in production order. Sorry.
The show's
This is
better
the
if we
one where
pretend the
Kirk's
ESP
friends
ratings didn't exist.
gets ESP or something.
Because they organized them in terms of Stardate and the re-released version.
All right, Where No Man Has Gone Before. Everybody press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
What about
Ooh,
where
I like that
woman has
nebula
gone
effect. That's a good nebula. Yep, 5-digit star dates. Perfectly normal star date
Yep.
format to have.
We already know, Ryan, you're from the future.
Oh, that was okay. That zoom out, I wasn't sold on. I think I would have preferred just a hard cut.
We do that a lot now.
Yeah, his eyebrows are weird.
And he's smiling.
I feel
That
like his
uniform is so.
And he's-
Oh yeah, this is
green.
a really
his
old
face is a different color.
recorded episode.
Okay, this episode's not canon. This doesn't happen.
It's also very early recorded, as you can tell the complete differences in production.
Oh yeah. And you can tell it was recorded earlier because they haven't melted the chess pieces with a blowtorch.
They're literally
this is
just
the same
using the same
uniform
costumes from the cage, yeah.
Yeah. Which they have zippers, visible zipper. Look at that on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ew.
I don't know. He says one of his ancestors married a human female. It's like you're talking about your mother.
Yeah.
Yeah. His father.
It's like that's not really ancestor. You know?
But
One of
they
my
didn't know-
ancestors gave birth to me a long
he's not-
time ago.
He's not
Back
half
when I was
human
just a
yet.
newborn child.
He's not half human yet. They're still working out that part.
Oh, Stotty and just the
That's
beige.
actually-
He's like 1% human.
Oh wow, that's Sputnik.
Yeah,
was
this
just about to say
episode is.
Oh my god, it's
would announce
Scotty.
it.
I
It's
didn't
canon.
even notice Scotty's here. He's the transporter chief. What does
That
it say?
looks-
Does that say Valiant?
Yeah.
Should we had maybe watched in like the chronological order instead of the airing order?
No.
This is chronological order.
I'm still-
Actually, no, it's not.
Flash the
necessarily.
bridge.
This is the disc order, which I think is re-put as chronological.
We're going in stardate order, not production order.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. So it's chronological order then. Because we're using the chronology of the future.
It's 5-year mission to explore for 3 years.
How do they know
Then
that
get
the worlds
canceled.
are strange until they get there?
Actually, the animated series counts as 5 years.
Wasn't the
The
second
animated
season
series
like
has some
5
weird stuff.
episodes? They just stopped.
It was 2 seasons.
Yeah, but the second season barely exists.
We'll find
There's
out.
only a few episodes in it.
I don't remember watching it too well.
Lower Decks is
I guess
great
it
though.
counts. Oh, it's
Although-
the same shot.
If you ask him about the sea lot, you're such a fanboy. But you know, I am.
Why did they hide a camera in the ceiling?
I love that metal grating lighting. Once I read about it, I can't get over it. Like, they just did so much to make the show visually interesting.
Yeah.
This guy actually looks really weird to me with normal eyes.
Oh, this is the original set as well.
I feel like that's the only time we see it from that angle.
Yeah, it is.
Oh wow,
Yeah, they couldn't film from one
Where's
of
the
the
rest of
angles.
the set? What happened to all the other consoles? Where are the screens?
Look, we just told
where's
the pilot was
Uhura?
canceled.
Was this the
Why does this guy look like Vladimir
there's
Putin?
gold and there's beige.
We were
Separately.
just informed the pilot was canceled, and we had to reshoot this on the fly.
Yeah, this is the second pilot, that's why.
I like the water main pipes below the view screen.
Yeah.
Very helpful. Just in case they need to
The
extinguish
fire
something.
department comes and it says,
Wait, 200 years ago. What year
Access
is
Valiant
this?
200 years ago would have been in our time.
no, 2100.
No,
This is 23. Oh, you're right.
This is
No,
the
it's not
23rd
23.
century.
It's
So
2200.
this
So
is
22
2260s.
Yeah.
Okay,
Actually,
so
no, it's later. It's like
she's-
22.
Something terrible is going to happen to that woman, Smith.
I like that.
Oh God, she's the ESP woman. Okay, we
Yeah.
can kill her. That's fine.
But yeah, the reason why all of this
look, there's
looks this way is
Sulu.
it's the second pilot.
Ah, yes, Sulu looking very puzzled at the blank view screen.
Something I like, they have the ladders on this Enterprise. Like, you know, on a submarine, you have those poles and everything because you have to move fast.
I'm so glad they decided not to keep doing Spock's eyebrows like that. Oh, looks
I
awful.
just feel bad for Leonard. Did he have to shave, or did they put rubber over them?
No, you shaved your eyebrows back then.
It doesn't actually look that bad even in this pilot.
It really doesn't. Even now, it's a thing for girls. You can shave off your eyebrows and just put on black
Oh boy.
brows.
No, this isn't canon. This never happened. Nope.
No,
It's fake.
it's the
Yeah.
second pilot. It doesn't matter.
Actually, what's funny is like this was the era where ESP research was still being done in earnest too.
Thank
Yeah.
you for saying that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously none of it panned out, but like it wouldn't have been as crazy
No, it would have been perfectly
here
expected.
then as it sounds to us now.
Right. In fact, in those days, the HR department, they would try to develop a psychological profile of each worker and try to assign them to the best job that they're suited to.
Yeah.
Also, that still happens. Psychological
No.
profiling is different.
No,
Our
HR's
psychological
job-
test has determined that you would be best suited to a position where we don't have to pay you very much.
Right. Right. Now HR's job is to look through all the resumes and hire a fraction of the people who apply.
Right. But people, I mean, were actually like doing. There were studies into like
resources.
clairvoyance and shit.
How to
that were
manage the
happening
workforce,
these
how to
days at
what
this
makes
point.
Okay,
you
but
satisfied
before
at
you
the job.
start claiming it as science, maybe wait until the magic human powers are verified.
Okay,
Yeah.
the way this works is though part of the psychological profile is any kind of psychological traits like ESP.
That's
Also, here's a fun.
that's
They're going
psychological
beyond the edge of the
shit to develop those
galaxy
profiles.
at warp 1, and they're gonna make it. It's gonna take them like 2 minutes.
I mean, in fairness, though, I was just thinking how in Star Trek First Contact they're sent to the Romulan neutral zone, and they
Oh,
have
sorry,
to like,
less than 2 minutes. It was more like 10 seconds. They're there. They
Yeah.
made it. It's the edge of the
they have
galaxy.
to they have to warp right back to Earth.
Yeah.
And they need to-
Again, this episode is itself mostly retconned anyway.
Yeah, none of this is real.
there is a psionic barrier at the edge of the Milky Way, though. I'm sure of it.
Nope.
I'm pretty sure it causes insanity if you try to cross the galactic barrier.
I'm pretty sure there's a race of Cthulhu beings on the other side.
Okay, what I'm saying is, though, it's not retcon because it's fact in Star Trek. You cannot
Large portions of this episode are retconned.
You cannot cross the galactic barrier.
Except
And
you
there's-
can, though.
So there was a short story, and some of you may be familiar with it, where it talks about how there's a region in the galaxy where nothing can survive. Any type of living creature that goes inside this region of the galaxy goes insane and kills itself. And then at some point, some beings who evolved entirely in this region of space
Are
emerge.
you just talking about
and they
Warhammer
just-
again?
and they just start like wreaking havoc on the galaxy and destroying everybody, and it turns out it's us. It's humans. Humans
course
came
it
from
is.
this part of the galaxy. They're like, how could anything survive in there? Oh my god, they're horrible and terrifying. Humans.
Exploding consoles, they actually did it in this. That camera pan of the model of the Enterprise was quite fancy for this.
Quite.
We're
Quite
setting
fancy.
fire to the original bridge set.
I probably wanted to rebuild it after this
Yeah.
anyway, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man, she got toasted.
was that the
Extra
That's how
crispy
you
for
tell
it.
people have been affected by the space magic. Their colors get inverted.
Yeah, they get all Andy Warhol. But also, it's kind of maddening how like our galaxy is what 120,000 light years away from the nearest galaxy, Andromeda.
What?
So
No, it's got to be further than that.
1.2 million light years away.
I don't know. Google it, but I bet you it's more than 125,000.
Well, it
Yeah.
depends how you define it, because
2.537
edges of galaxies are
million
very
light years.
loosely defined.
True.
And
It's 2.5 million light years.
Thank you. So at the same time, though, it's hurling towards us, and we're gonna merge.
Yes.
Yeah,
eventually.
but none of us will be around for that.
Speak for
In
yourself.
fact,
So I plan to live forever.
Pelion
that's my
probably
life.
will
So
be
good.
around, so will Guinan.
Is
I
Guinan
hope I-
immortal?
You
Yeah,
gotta
it's-
love their scientific method. It was like, we have proof that this is, bad things happen when you try to cross this barrier. Do we have some plan to deal with it? Nah, just full ahead.
It probably
Wow,
worked
look
out
at
better
this
if they
full
let
head.
Sulu at the helm instead of Rando.
Look at that.
Sulu, is Sulu even in the first season?
Yeah, he was
he's
in the
just- I've seen him
background
once as
wearing
a
a blue
bandit.
shirt looking confused.
He was with the ESP Human Resources crowd
It's Chekhov who isn't in it until. Is it season 2 or season 3 he joins?
too.
Too. Yeah.
So,
I mean, yeah, Star Trek was pretty progressive.
Emphasis on was.
I mean,
Dream was.
I mean, I
it
think
was-
now it's regressive.
TOS is, yes.
Oh boy, aspirating.
Well above average of all categories. You know what? I'm not even going
Uh,
to screenshot it. It doesn't deserve
what-
it.
20 out of 104. That's fun.
Yeah, the TOS was regressive at the time, but now it's not.
I think it was the only thing we needed was like two guys kissing, and then that would have been great.
Well, Gene wanted that for Captain's Holiday,
Mhm.
but they didn't
Rick
do it.
Berman.
Well,
You say Captain's Holiday, but that was like season 3 TNG.
Yeah.
Gene didn't-
yeah, Captain's
Was
Holiday.
Gene dead?
Gene
Wasn't that
Gene was like, I want men kissing men and women kissing women in the background.
Do you mean
And
Justice? The episode where Wesley walks on the grass.
Pleasure.
No, I mean Captain's Holiday with
But Gene
Ryza.
wasn't in control of the series at that point.
He was still involved.
And we know he didn't win the argument.
Oh my god! By the way,
But,
so at the time it was very futuristic to have like a bio bed, but now we have
We had hospital beds back then too, friend.
yeah, but not.
But
with
did they have
digital
little
displays.
CRTs on swing arms?
Yeah.
That's just the natural evolution of the hospital
Oh
bed.
my god, look at the CRT screen. It's still there. You just turned off the backlight. It's just a piece of paper with a light behind it.
No.
Yep. Yeah.
They're best friends, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they're
The
supposed to
episode
be.
is certainly implying that.
hmm
How do they do that eye effect anyway?
Yeah, it looks like cataracts.
I remember there was something weird about like it was super uncomfortable or it actively hurt him or something.
Something about like they shined the light
Oh,
right.
theatrical contacts are the worst, and they can cause blindness.
Maybe they're made of mercury or something.
Probably not mercury, but nothing good for you, I'm sure.
No, they just put liquid mercury straight on his eyes.
Well, they used to give mercury if you were constipated. They give you some quicksilver. That's why it's called quicksilver, because it makes you go quick. Your body's like, get this toxic metal.
I thought it was because you couldn't scoop it up quick enough.
Well, actually, no. Quick used to mean something that was alive, generally, and the quicksilver was living silver because it
Yeah,
could move.
quick is the opposite of dead. So.
Okay, so his eyes. They were early 1960s contact lenses that were hot and uncomfortable. They were scleral lenses and had a thin sheet of foil between the layers of the lens.
Yeah, so
They literally put tin foil between two lenses and stuck them on his
Oof.
eyes. And there's a little pinhole in the middle, which means he has to tilt his head up to see anything.
Dr. Daner.
Ooh,
So when you get ESP, all you want to do is seduce 100 women on board? Brother Shatner's looking so young and handsome.
Nah, not really my type.
Dashing.
Oh, that's an overlay, I think.
Do you guys have to ruin everything?
Yes.
Absolutely.
You can't spy on his reading material. It's an invasion of privacy.
Wow, ESP makes you a faster reader.
His shirt, his medical sleeveless shirt, reminds me of Mirror Universe.
Yeah, it is that color blue that Spock, evil Spock wears.
The blue and the lack of sleeves make me feel like he's about to...
Uh-oh.
Okay.
He knows we're watching.
ESP. Yep.
That's always such a creepy moment.
It is. Very well directed, though.
Yep, this doctor's not canon. He doesn't exist. Forget
This
about him.
doctor's from the menagerie.
Yeah.
He's the one that gave Pike, what kind of alcohol was it? Whiskey?
Sorry and brandy.
I mean, he technically exists. As the page has been referenced in Strange New Worlds. You just haven't had
Oh.
reference to the Doctor specifically.
Yeah, why isn't this like TNG where everybody, whenever they're in sickbay, has to be naked? Why isn't he naked with a blanket?
Wow. So overcompensate. Freud talked about penis envy. So women are always trying
I
to
don't
compensate.
think that's what she was referring to.
I don't think women professionals tend to overcompensate.
What? Wait, what are they monitoring? I saw
His
temp, brain, lungs.
He's changing brain.
Brain? What is brain?
Brains are EKG activity.
Cell rate, blood O2, and blood T something?
Oh, that was a nice episode while it lasted.
Yeah.
Bye, Charlie. That would be amazing cut to credits. I would love it.
Press F for respects, everybody.
That was not 22 seconds. That was
So-
like 7 seconds.
He basically turns
movie
into
time.
Dr. Manhattan. He's like, I'll be dead, I'll be alive. It doesn't matter to me. We're just elements composed and arranged in a temporary way.
It's gotta be super boring to be hyper intelligent. If you can go through the entire library in half a day, what else? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Mhm.
How do you keep
The
yourself
other half.
entertained?
You can create plays with people in your mind.
You could do what?
I was referring to it as just answering stuff where you might be able to control people, but yeah.
Write fan fiction.
A zipper in the future?
Such
Impossible.
That's what you do. You recite poetry and seduce people.
Well, she chose the page.
Oh wow.
Written on the Canopus planet in 1996. Interesting specificity.
Have you ever noticed?
Where is her hand right now?
It's on the bio bed.
Is it?
He's very seductive.
Is he?
Oh, you meant the hand in the picture.
Yes.
Yeah. It's moved a little now. Now it's just on his leg.
Uh-huh. It's a tense moment.
We were just having a nice professional cuddle. Come on in.
She was just comforting me.
Okay, that wasn't a Vaseline filter. That was just blurry because they couldn't find the footage again. Blurry.
You gotta love how none of these colors are standard.
Yeah, I think the beige must be what they said with red later,
Yeah, engineering.
and the pilots.
The sewing is so bad. Like you could see the seams, and I mean,
In the future, they wouldn't care about seams.
yeah,
Yeah, it's cheap
In the future,
recycling
it's
from
retro.
the first pilot.
yeah. They were trying to get the show on the air.
I think he basically had no budget for this one.
Yeah,
They don't go very elaborate with the miniature shots.
Well, he was right because of ESP, doctor. Or engineer. Who are you?
he's engineer. He's engineer who walks in on the cuddling in sickbay.
Oh,
And this
yeah,
is a
there's
set
Sulu
which
again.
we'd never ever see ever anywhere else. I don't think we even saw it in the cage.
Wait, so are we expecting Gary Mitchell to show up in Strange New Worlds? Are we going to see like Captain Kirk with First Officer Gary Mitchell?
I think
The
this
Farragut's?
character is shot as such a creep. I don't think you want that kind of radioactive ESP force on the ship.
Well, we can retcon the creepy stuff.
ESP is naturally creepy though when you think about it. Like Deanna was gorgeous, so we didn't mind, but
Yeah, remember that species who distrusts and then purges telepaths?
yeah, on Voyager.
Clearly, they were on the right side of history. No.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Monitor.
Monitor?
What is-
Yeah. It's part to like
It's consistent with
enunciating
sensor
things.
and deflector.
Yeah.
You know,
Because he is an actor. Yes, send
Ooh,
everybody through the
that's-
barrier.
A new and better kind of being. That's a very interesting thought coming from you.
What are
really
those
nice set.
colored cheese slices in front of Captain
It's
Kirk?
referenced as Sulu.
What are the rectangles?
The data
Post-it
chips.
notes. Isolinear chips.
That's oh god. He used geometric to mean exponential. That is
A sin against
wow.
God.
At least someone made the error in that direction for once on Earth.
Robo, you're echoing.
Robo, you're echoing.
Yep.
I gotta say, I love this set. Like, really beautiful walls.
I think this is the same set where we're going to have
Lovely game
Captain
room.
Pike's trial later.
Pretend geometric can sort of work if there is a consistent increase in his power.
No, he said doubling specifically every day.
Yeah, so that's geometric, is correct.
And the only way that's gonna, if it's doubling consistently, then that's exponential.
No, it's geometric. Geometric is increasing by the same, multiplying by the same amount each time.
But if
Oh
it's
my gosh.
Fair enough. Fair enough. It's a very rapid geometric expansion.
no,
I
that's,
just looked it up to
that's
make sure to check
geometric.
which it was.
We have to go to Google to resort to solve
You
this.
don't. It doesn't.
Doubling.
It's not an exponent. So
It's not an exponent, yeah.
This is exactly the kind of conversation I would expect on a Star Trek thing.
No, if it's doubling every time, that means it's 2 to the something. That's an exponential increase.
no, that's not exponential. That's not exponential. Is not the same as double.
No, hold on. I think he's right. Growth whose rate becomes ever more rapid in proportion to the growing total number or size. So
It is exponential.
Oh, it depends upon the
A-
exact nature of it, because
A
if it was
times
multiplying by
1
2 each
plus r
time,
to the x.
that's geometric. If it's
well,
To
growth
the
rate is
power of
r.
2. If it's 2
X
to
is
the
the
power
number
of
of
something,
Okay,
time
no,
it
intervals.
is
No,
I'm
he's
cutting off
right.
this
He's right.
conversation.
Exponential growth. It's exponential
That is enough
growth.
about geometric versus exponential growth.
So I know we're not doing spoilers for Strange New Worlds, but I gotta love in the crossover episode when she says when
Wait, it could be either one.
okay, thanks Ryan for the hint.
That I didn't see a way the second half of that sentence could exist without being a spoiler.
Just making a triangle shape with your hands when you talk about Pike.
Yes, this is clearly the best. Oh, so those cups are Starfleet. They're not Starfleet branded. They're Earth branded.
Hmm.
Because it's the United Earth, whatever.
Chip.
The
Collector's item.
page
UES Enterprise.
pistol. Laser thing.
Dude, what are you talking about? People.
You know, my favorite TNG episode is the Nth Degree, where Barclay becomes like a hyper genius, so big that he has to become locked into the ship's computer. Like, what do you do when someone's
Gun.
just transcended humanness
Gun.
and basically kill me while you can? But
Yeah, no, I'm with Gary here. Kill him while you can.
you really
Yep.
should, because he's
Is that a different lightning effect? I think
Look at
that's
the
a different
phaser belt.
effect.
That's a cage phaser and a weird belt. I don't think we've seen that before.
Delta Vegas, where they put people who are psychically crazy.
So does this Enterprise have the ability to transport people from within the ship, or is that a TNG thing?
Emergency transport
a
from within the
TNG
ship is a
thing.
thing.
Oh wow,
Sight
that
to
was super
sight.
efficient. Okay, now shoot him.
You can do an emergency transport from within the ship.
Medical transporter.
Emergency beam into space. Or just onto the planet. Come on.
It's implied you need the transporters because they do the lock.
I don't think you should beam down to the planet from within the ship. You'd have to go to the transporter, but you could, at least from Strange New Worlds, you can do an emergency
don't.
transport.
Kirk, don't beam down with him. Just beam him alone down to the planet and leave.
Yeah, it's much simpler that way.
Yeah.
Just
Leave
leave.
him on supply of
What is this?
This is the mining factory on Delta Vega. Galactic. What is that? Mining?
Mining something.
Consortium.
I love godlike power versus off-button hypospray.
What? Is that a 60s expression?
That's the southern.
It's an expression, I guess, from SF Debris. He also makes videos about Star Trek. He calls it the off-button hypospray. That the hypospray like this one that basically is in all Star Trek, where they just go and just knock someone out.
Thanks.
It's very efficient.
He's gonna literally blow up Gary.
Well, it's true though. In the menagerie, the people with the big brains, they have ESP powers too. So,
Yeah, we can cut them out of canon too. That's fine.
It's the death penalty.
They're relatively strongly within current canon. In fact, they're pretty strongly within current canon.
Meaning lower decks?
No, I mean the people with the big brains in the cage.
You know, when did they appear again?
In Discovery?
They're referenced in both in Discovery and in Strange New Worlds.
Thanks.
Well, they're not technically referenced in Strange New Worlds, but they are part of that storyline.
Don't we see them again in Discovery instead of just mentioned? I thought we saw them.
Yeah, I think we do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I love how their brains like pulse though.
So in the assuming everything is canon, if we said everything was canon, the previous episode that we just watched is before this in timeline, and he's just had someone literally get rid of the force fields.
What Gary just said, that's going to be a running theme through the series. Spock is right, and you're a fool if you can't see it. Just listen to Spock.
So before this, we did have Twilight Zone, and so this feels like it's coming out of that Twilight Zone era. Like you have a freak accident. Now we don't know what to do with the guy. We're just not equipped to handle this. Hey, we got a full-blown bed in your cell.
So we have to drain his strength before he can kill him. So we need How do we do that? Just if we lower the
Shoot
force
him
field,
a
he could
lot.
probably kill you. But we could beam him up to the ship and have a security team like just firing constant phaser beams into the transporter wall, or just leave him dematerialized. We could do that.
Just abandon him on, the Botany Bay planet.
Pretty sure that's just an industrial strength blender.
It looks like one of those things you use to like chisel walls, break down walls.
That's one
Well-
handheld prop which does get carried forward into the actual series.
True. But I love that there's a magnetic coil in there, because when you coil a current, it's a ton of energy.
It is a really great thing that Gene kept Spock from the original pilot.
He had a
was
choice.
supposed to. No, he
He
was
could-
supposed to scrap everything, and he managed to keep Spock.
He could either keep a woman first officer, or he could keep the Vulcan science officer, and he got rid of number one.
That was very abrupt. Jesus, show. Come on.
It's a hard commercial break. Wait, that's a 4 number start date? 0.3? Okay.
Stargates are totally.
Yeah.
Captain's
They're
log,
pretty much
episode
obviously
3.
very-
How did they fix this in Lower Decks again when Ransom started getting magic powers?
No.
Oh, they just beat him up, right. We should try that. We should just try kicking him.
Look, once you see the giant koala, you can't unsee it.
Yeah,
Why is he smiling? What does he know?
What is this crossfade? What are these scene transitions? You crossfaded into a shot of this guy, and then as soon as the crossfade finished, you did a hard cut to some wire.
Because it's telepathy.
this counts as a mission. It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, they
That's
beam
probably
down.
quite an impressive phrase. if
He's
that
up
was
on the
the
ship there,
original
right?
one.
Well, he just murdered a dude, so.
Wow, that's a good quote.
Follow Picard style. Everyone beneath you is expendable.
So
oh, yeah,
again,
other people we brought forward. Yeah, Majel Barrett. She's still here.
Yes.
she's Nurse Chapel now. She's not
Yeah.
number one.
She's in the series itself.
What else does she do? She's Nurse Chapel. She's the computer. Is she anything else?
Luoxana.
Yeah.
No, in TOS. Just
Oh,
in
I'm sorry.
TOS.
No.
Ew, they're multiplying.
See, it's a geometric sequence. They're doubling by 2.
No, be silent. Keep your geometric tongue behind your teeth.
Sorry, I had to.
This is a non-Euclidean episode.
Have you seen the Star Trek sets? They're all very Euclidean. Everything's a rectangle.
Yeah.
What? Why? Why? Why
I
can't
think
we
he
help?
doesn't want to
Spock?
endanger their lives.
But he has a gun.
Yeah, but he feels responsible because he didn't kill his friend Gary Mitchell, and now his whole crew is at risk.
Just beam Gary into space. We can still beam him.
Yeah. That'll work great.
Ah, the nearest Earth base.
And he's cocking that phaser rifle like he's gonna do something.
He's gonna murder this entire planet. I mean, I get there's no other humans here, But
He's gonna kill anything
Why-
he sees move.
Why bother? Once you leave them alone on the planet enough, they'll just, have fun on the planet or something, become Q.
they'll conjure a starship out of thin air and then come to destroy Earth.
Why bother?
His godlike powers. Hey, this is the Planet Hell set that we use in TNG.
I don't think that's true.
Okay.
These sets look very
Uh,
pointy.
cow-
Mm.
Western.
It looks very wrinkled, the rocks. TNG is very
It's also-
smooth.
It's also like a very old version of the
Oh, a water feature.
AR sets that we use today, because like it's a map painting instead of a VR wall or an AR wall.
Very true. Yeah, that's why they have those long pans of the camera, like much longer than TNG ever did. So he has the same problem Dr. Manhattan has. We're just like insects to him. So
Unfortunately, godlike power is no match for the power of a gun. Kirk's got this.
TNG has an equal, right? Called Where No One Has Gone Before. Episode.
Yeah, that's the one where the Traveler sends them to a different galaxy.
Yeah. So the
And
same
Wesley's
thing.
the Mozart of physics.
So your mind is connected with the fabric of reality. I know that's controversial to say, but there's some connection between consciousness and reality that we don't understand.
Well, I wouldn't take this TV show as evidence of supernatural human abilities.
It's a good thesis, though, and I'm saying
Is
though
it?
there's a TNG episode that ties it in later. But also we have the Naked Now and the Naked Time in TNG. Basically, early TNG was an homage to early TOS.
Yeah.
No, it was not an homage to early
Yeah.
TOS. It was literally TOS scripts. It was just TOS again. They just recycled.
Was
Yeah.
phase 2 scripts that got
Yeah, a lot of face.
shelved.
DC Fontana also wrote for a season of TNG.
Well, she wrote them for phase 2 and the guy used in TNG.
Yeah, and she was also
DC
credited.
Fontana wrote an episode of Transformers Beast Wars.
She was amazing.
You dead? DC Fontana did?
Yeah, she passed away 5 years ago or so.
Yeah, but is she dead?
Yes, she passed away.
Have you checked?
I remember her passing away.
You were there?
Dorothy Catherine Fontana died December 2nd, 2019.
Okay. So 3.5 years ago. Got it.
Jim, gun, shoot her.
See,
not too late.
Dr. Manhattan should have taken his girlfriend and made her elevated like this guy did. That would have at least given you a life partner, and it wouldn't have been this whole
You
thing
didn't
where.
care.
Yeah, I know, but she doesn't care either. But this, you have someone who doesn't care with you. Well, that wasn't a joke.
TNG also has this with Q and Picard of it's developing through time of not getting there quickly, needing to actually develop your knowledge and understand how to use your power.
Very good point.
It's a bit of that in Stardate as well.
There's that Q episode too, though, where Q makes a girl have infinite powers, and she makes people fall in love with her.
No. She was a daughter of Qs that were living on Earth as humans.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Which
then her
kinda
parents
makes the
were
whole-
killed by a tornado.
That were the Q that was caused by the Q. And she doesn't know that she's a Q, but she's a Q the whole time. So that kind of makes the whole Voyager Q's having a kid thing irrelevant, right?
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. Look at those special effects.
That's solid
Wow, it's so
color,
powerful.
straight
It
line.
changed the volume.
This show is very inconsistent volume sometimes.
Hmm.
I had it boosted above 100% to hear
It-
people talking, and then as soon as he fired a phaser, it was just deafening.
Yeah. No, the soundtrack's crazy good on the show. I mean,
Use the volume normalizing feature of your video player.
No. I have a scroll wheel, that's all I need. James R. Kirk. 1277.1
Yep.
to
Wasn't he
what?
supposed to be James T. Kirk?
Yes, we don't
No,
know
shut
what the
up.
original
Riberius.
name was, but
Riberius.
it became Tiberius.
No, it was Riberius.
It was Roddenberry.
James Riker Kirk. Oh, he's really
What
going
was the
Old
forgotten
Testament
especially?
style.
What does
God,
God
the starship.
mean with the starship? By the way, I want to. People don't know this or think about this too much, but television and radio was very censored back in these days. The song "California Dreamin'" that has a line in there about it's a cold night and I'm driving along the highway, so I stopped into a church. I passed along the way, and I got down on my knees and begin to pretend to pray. The preacher likes the cold because he knows I'm going to stay. So on the radio, they changed the line from "and I pretend to pray" and I begin to pray, because you wouldn't want a song about somebody just entering a church for the cold, and faking the prayer. So here, this thing about like bow to me and pray to me, very sacrilegious for that time.
Scary being defeated by the power of purple?
Unlimited
Purple compels you.
power.
The power of purple compels you.
Jim, gun. He's weakened.
Hurry, Jim.
No,
Hurry.
don't punch him. Murder
They-
him.
He lost the context.
Rutty chop.
Double open palm hit thing. So
Yeah,
weird.
starts it
Give
in
him
the
Kirk
pilot.
food.
Jim, at least get a rock or something.
Look,
The
movies
gun
and
was
TV
right
today,
there.
they have a choreographer come in and teach them these moves, and then it looks like a dance because they're so well rehearsed. They speed up the footage by like 1%, so it doesn't look as rehearsed. So I prefer
The
this.
only move he needs to remember is how to pull the trigger.
Uh-oh. Smash his head in.
Jim, you're too slow.
Too slow.
Well, that rock went flying.
Yep.
It's okay, they put in a really loud, like, rock slam effect to convince us it wasn't just styrofoam.
So this is how the nth degree should have gone down, where Barclay and Picard are fighting on a rocky planet.
Oh, you're saying the nth degree?
Yeah. That's my favorite TNG episode, really. Oh, yeah. The grave he dug for you. Poetic justice right there.
Okay, there's no way that holds him though, right? If he has godlike power, he's fine, right?
But it had like a part that stuck out, you know.
He still
like,
has squishy
filled
parts.
in the hole.
If he just killed the squishy part of him, the god dies. But sorry. One thing though, I think the moment I fell in love with TNG was when they had the episode where Jesus Christ evolves independently on a planet with the Roman Empire. That's a great show.
If you say so.
And that's when Kirk says puny god and smashes.
The TOS episode with Jesus, it felt very odd to me. Because they were like making fun of this entire planet. It's like, oh, look at these primitives. They still worship the sun. Who does that anymore?
Jesus is just a literary allegory for the sun.
And then
Anyway,
the end of the episode is like, oh, they're not backwards primitives. They believe in Jesus. It's like, come on.
Oof.
They were advanced the whole time.
No, it's like, first imagine a planet where Rome never fell and we watch the gladiators on TV, which is what we'd be doing if we were still Romans. And then you have the pun on the Son of God. So everyone's preaching about the sun. It's like they worship the sun, the Son of God. Very Christian.
How does that translate though? They weren't speaking English, were they?
No, they were not speaking in English.
What are sun and sun in Italian?
Soul
Or Latin,
and
I guess.
filio and soul. Filio.
What do you mean? What are you talking about, Jim? Spock was barely even in this episode.
So, moral of the story is kill your best friend. If he gets too smart for his britches.
Moral of the story is absolute power corrupts absolutely, except when it doesn't.
There's just one red and one blue star in that field. Actually, there's a second blue one as well.
Moral of the
So,
story is don't cross the galactic barrier.
there's a red one on the right-hand side too.
I have a
Right-hand bottom
question.
right corner.
Does scientist, psychologist, ESP lady count as an away team member?
Did she die?
She is.
I'm pretty sure she died.
Well, we did definitely
she died.
lose one person on the UA team.
Yeah, she is. She sacrificed herself to the altar of.
But was
ESP.
she on the away team? Because
She was. She sacrificed herself on the altar of extrasensoriness.
What were the circumstances of her beaming down? Did Kirk's... I need to double check. Did Kirk send her down or did Gary send her down? I'm scrolling through. It looks like... Yeah, she went down with Gary. Did we? Who did we lose? Oh, yeah, we did. Strangleman. That counts. That totally counts. Okay, 4. 4 deaths so far in the first 3 episodes. No deaths in episode 2, because there wasn't an away team. And it's unclear whether the people actually stayed dead. Yes, we're specifically looking for the away team. We've lost 1.2% of the crew. We've lost about 1% in 3 episodes. It's not a bad rate. It could be worse. It's fine.
5 years it'll be over in no
Wait, is
time.
Discord? Can people not hear Discord? Oh,
There-
people can't hear Discord. How
we
long
hear-
has
I
Discord
hear.
been muted?
Yeah.
Have a good
It's
day,
probably
guys.
fine.
It's fine.
Well, that's concerning.
Uh-oh.
There are interesting videos you can find on the ratio of crew members killed in each series.
Okay, so Discord wasn't muted when we were talking about the sun. So that's probably... It's fine. Just a minute or two. Okay, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Weird.
Yeah, Strangleman it was our only away team loss this episode. The other people weren't on the away team. They were either evil or they were on the ship. Yeah, that's Star Trek TOS. Definitely glossed over some of the sexism because there's just too much to talk about. But yeah,
Yeah.
what is going on next week? Next week is loading. the Naked Time, which is massive violations of containment protocol. Some dude literally lifts up his containment suit mask to scratch his face.
Yeah.
What is wrong with him?
It's like COVID all over again.
The Enemy Within, which is where Captain Kirk gets split in two
Yeah.
and assaults Yeoman Rand, and she says, "I would never report you, you're my supervisor." And it's bad. Most of the episode's good. That scene is really bad.
Gets to have a lot of fun overacting Shatner.
Yes.
And we get the dog in a dog suit. That's always fun. They put a horn on its head too. And then Mud's Women is the third episode next week.
Which is
where-
a fun one, but
Oh, I like
also
that one.
sexism stuff again, of course.
What I remember of Mud's Women is women are literally property that are being sold.
Oh, maybe I
Yeah.
was thinking of the other one where he has robots. I like that one.
Yeah, the other
Yeah,
one
this
he
one
has
is like
robots.
women are being sold to miners for comfort. As in people who mine, not
Yeah, and he
like
gives them like
12-year-olds.
special drugs to make them pretty.
I might be misremembering some of the context because it's been like 7 years. But, you know, it's sketchy at best. Anyway, that's next week. Don't have to worry about it right now. And
Yeah.
the stream's over. We're done. Oh, we need an outro. We can't say The Weak Shall Perish anymore because that was a Voyager thing. What's a good ending line?
You also live.
I'm not a
That's not
doctor.
really
I'm a
Yeah, I'm not a doctor, however. It's a good one.
Well, for now, the ending line will be the stream's over, go away.
Sounds good.
short and to the point. I like it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.